So I've known Dame 20 years, right? Is that what 20 years?
20
Yeah, it feels like 40 years. Cut me a break. Okay.
Feels like 40.
It does. Okay, so Dame. So Damon is part of here. He has his own little office, his own team. Your office is in?
One in Narberth, one in Center City at 19th and Chestnut.
Yeah. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Penn Valley, 5 minutes from here.
Okay.
Been here my whole life. Left at some point to go to school, went to GW in DC. But
Okay.
came back and I've been, live in Villanova now, so I've been in, 10-minute radius.
Okay. You married?
I'm married with 3 kids. When I started, I didn't have gray hair and I wasn't married and I didn't have kids. But I have 3 kids that are 13-year-old twins and a 14-year-old. All girls.
That's grouped together, man. That's very efficient. I like that, Some interesting facts about you growing up. Like, did you have a cool job or any crazy jobs or anything interesting about you?
I grew up around here, went to Lower Merion schools, went to Harridan. I was editor of the yearbook at Harridan.
Yeah. Get out of here, really? Can you write?
No.
What does the editor do then?
Just in charge of layout.
Okay.
So that means that, you have people underneath you that know what to do.
Okay.
Prior to real estate, I was a controller for multiple different manufacturing companies. I'm a double major accounting and finance. So I did that for many years, and I loved what I did, but I didn't, I'm more of a people person, and I didn't want to be sitting in an office doing numbers anymore.
So when you were growing up, though, as a kid, going to school,
Yeah.
what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your life like then?
I never knew what I wanted to be.
Okay.
When I came out of school with accounting and finance, I was like, well, now what am I going to do?
Right, exactly.
So, we're all still learning as we go along and never know where life takes you.
Yeah. So you realized, though, you wanted to be more around people and out and
Correct.
stuff. Yeah. And everybody loves Damon. Like, as successful, as competitive as he is, if you ask anybody, everybody loves Damon. Okay. And so, what do you like to do for fun?
Fun? I mean, besides always working, I love to play golf, I love to ski.
Okay.
And, if I'm going to be anywhere, it's going to be on the beach. I would rather relax on the beach than do anything.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, always nice to
You take
travel.
time to play golf? I'm surprised.
So
This guy's still showing rentals on Sunday, right? Okay, that's how crazy he is. Get it.
It's funny, since you mentioned rentals. I always feel that nothing's beneath me. And, whether it's $1,000 a month rental or a $3 million sale, you never know what it's going to lead to. So I remember doing $1,000 a month rental, and someone called me and they were like, why are you doing that? And then they referred me to their boss who was selling $1 million house.
Right.
So one thing leads to another, and you never know what leads to something else. Yes, I've played golf my entire life, and then, this real estate thing seems to get in the way of my life a lot. So, you just have to balance, work and play. And I've always been about work hard and play hard.
Right.
So, now I might, where I used to play golf later in the day, now I might be one of the first people teeing off in the morning so that I'm done by 11, 12 o'clock so that I can still have a full day.
Yeah. I know you love to travel.
Yeah.
But I didn't
Definitely
know.
been traveling.
Yeah. Okay. So why did you get into real estate? What made you get into real estate?
Like I said, I was in a controller for a manufacturing company, and real estate has always interested me. I always found it interesting and thought
How did you know that? Was there somebody that inspired you? Someone talked to you about it? Like, how did you?
It was around me my entire life.
So you were aware of it, okay.
So I was aware of it, and I took courses at GW that were real estate involved, and I decided I didn't want to be an accountant anymore. So then I actually had an employment agency for many years. We had 5 offices, one in Ballackinwood, one in Greenville, Delaware, one in Pennington, New Jersey, one in Bel Air, Maryland, and one in Pikesville, Maryland. So I was doing that for about 5 years, traveling around, dealing with opening offices, and I realized that, you know, one of my friends had talked me into becoming a realtor. And I said, I don't know if I want to be a realtor. And they said, he's like, no, you know.
Is this Jack?
It is Jack. Jack Hazen talked me into becoming a realtor. So,
That's so funny, okay.
And, you know, Jack's one of my best friends at this point, and I became a realtor, and...
So that was like just in 04 or 05?
04.
Yeah. 04.
I got my license in 04.
It was a good time to get in, actually.
It was.
5, 6, 7, some of the best years.
They were great years, and then, you know, the market changed, and look, I've been through a lot of upturns and downturns, and, you know, you learn a lot.
So I remember when your name came on the scene back then, right? I do remember, it was like city in the suburbs. I'm like, because back then you specialized, you know what I mean? I never drove out to the main line. We were just center city. And you're like, what's this kid doing both, you know? Like, and then I'm like, Damon, like, what kind of name's that? And then, this is my mind. Because I saw these signs popping up, you know, you're competitive. So we're competitive. And then I called him up to talk about a deal or something, and I'm like, oh, he sounds like a good guy. Okay, I like him. You know, so first impressions are everything, you know, and he's about getting stuff done. He's great to cooperate with. Sometimes he's hard to get, but he used to be easier to get.
Yeah.
But he does always get back to you.
Texts instantly.
Yeah, that's good. But that's probably you, okay? But great to do a deal with. He wants to get stuff done. He's, he has an incredible reputation. Okay, so
I remember back then, you know, I always was half Center City, half Main Line.
yeah,
And I remember that, you know, when I used to list things in Center City, other agents would go up against me and they'd say, well, he's not really a city agent, he's a Wayne agent, because I was out of the Wayne Berkshire Hathaway office at that time. And we, you know, at that point then we had city signs made for me with a city number, just so people would realize that, you know, I had a presence in Center City.
if your sign came up and you weren't from Center, like our clique in Center City for 20 years, be like, who is this? Like, we wouldn't even show the place if it didn't happen. Like, it's just how it was. Now it's a whole different world, you know what I mean?
Now you're licensed in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. and
With the internet, you can do anything.
But then, could you imagine if you just sold in the suburbs? How horrible your business would be? I mean,
Oh.
suburbs are great, but there's not enough sales, right?
Look, I've always felt there's not enough sales because there's not enough inventory. I've always
Exactly.
feel that I've
That's it.
specialized in, you know, marketing and advertising properties. I deal with a lot of empty nesters moving to the city. A lot of people, you know, moving to the suburbs. They need schools. So, you know, we get people going both ways. And now, of course, you get some people that are empty nesters moving back to the suburbs because they don't want to be in the city anymore.
What advice would you give an agent that's a year or two in the business, that's working on growing their business, right? So you did how many transactions last year?
Probably, I average about 200 a year or
Okay,
so.
about 200 a year. And what advice would you give somebody to, not do 200 a year, but to give from 5 or 10 to 30 or 40?
I mean, like I said before, nothing's beneath you, you know. One thing leads to another, and always keep that in mind. And, you know, look, keep your name out there, marketing, advertising-wise, because, you know, you want to be in front of people. However you get in front of people, whether it's, you know, social media, whether it's print advertising, whatever works for you.
Billboards. Billboards.
Billboards, right? You know, sit open houses. You know, I believe in open houses.
You still sit open
I still
houses?
sit open houses. People call me all the time, or they walk in the open house, they can't believe I'm sitting there.
Yeah. But
If you had 3 kids, you'd be sitting there.
Exactly. Dude, I used to love that. Like, yeah, 12 to 4, I'd be out of the house. Yeah. Like, okay, we're going to have breakfast, church maybe, and then you'd go out to get out of the house and come back. It is so much easier leaving the house than having 3 kids in your house,
Hard.
right?
It's a lot of work with 3 kids at home.
You'd have to nest for someday.
Yeah.
But I always say that. I say, I am like, because people say that to me all the time, get in your lane, you know, why are you still doing that? Like, I say, I am like the immigrant that opened up from Italy, that came here and opened up the Italian bakery. I'm there early in the morning, I'm there till late at night,
Yeah.
I'm still scrubbing the floors. It doesn't matter, right?
Right. Your day doesn't end at 5 o'clock. I
Right.
mean, half my day's still going after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's all about having a relationship with the other agent, because it's the other agent that you and them want to cooperate with to get the deal done.
Yeah.
And, you're not enemies, your goal is to get the deal done, to make everybody
And that
happy.
was the image that I got of you the very first
Correct.
time
I
we
mean-
spoke. You're not this way. To me, the key to success is having the best reputation, like you, not just among your clients, but within the real estate community. Like
Correct.
people like to deal with you.
I always tell people, it's the reason I'm getting the deals done now is because of the relationships I've built in the past.
Great advice. Repeat that. Somebody frame that. Yeah. But that is absolutely because it's a person-
Because when it comes down to doing a deal, the agent's going to say to their client, I've done deals with him, it's worthwhile, he'll get it done. And that's what the people, respect about you.
Right. So marketing. So how did you brand? So you came up with that unique thing, city to suburbs, 20 years ago, right? The first to do that.
Yeah.
What other marketing did you do to generate your business, get you out there?
Look, I think I've always done a bunch of everything. I mean, yes, I remember when I put my billboard up on Belmont Avenue and people said to me, what are you doing? And, of course that was 18 years ago probably, and I still have a billboard there. I remember I put a billboard on 23rd Street, and 3/4 of it was blocked by a park sign. And the billboard company said to me, I don't even know what to charge you for that because it hasn't been in use in 20 years. So they charged me $200 a month, I think. I had more calls on that sign than I had on other marketing I've ever had, because people would call and say, do you know that your sign's blocked by a park sign?
Was that the one near Pico or like the utility company? Because every time I go downtown, I pass that sign.
It was on 23rd Street.
Yeah, I think that was it. So
Yeah.
that's how I first know about you, from your sign there.
Yeah.
Because I used to work downtown, so I used to
She
park.
just came here from
I used to park in that lot.
last week.
Yeah.
Dave, she just came here from Berkshire like last
Oh,
week.
yeah.
So we're both from
Connie
Berkshire, right?
Bertie.
I was 27 years. You were how many years in
I was
Berkshire?
17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And now I saw you at Acme, because I now live in Ardmore, so you're on.
Acme, as we say in
Is
Philly.
that-
Acme. No, it's Acme, but we say that in Philly, Acme.
Cart, yeah, you're on the carts.
Look,
That's
I've
not-
always been a name recognition campaign. It's a
Yeah.
little of everything. Could be shopping carts, could be billboards, could
Yeah.
be, Philly Magazine, Philly Style, whatever works.
What are you doing right now?
I mean, we're still doing a lot of what we were doing before, but, more social media and more marketing,
I'm
mailings
liking
and-
your stuff all the time on social media. So I see you on Instagram, I see you on Facebook. Is that you or is that someone doing that for you?
There's multiple assistants that are doing work. Kevin is one of them. And Chrissy's been with me for 10 years, and we are now.
God bless them.
Yeah.
How's that
Somehow
going?
they've all put
I'm gonna
up with
interview
me.
him next. Okay.
But, now we have a virtual assistant in the Philippines, so that's been great. It's been a great experience.
So when did you start that? I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah.
So Damon's he's a creature of habit, man, hard to change, has his ways, right?
Yeah.
So when did you do
Change
that?
is hard.
Yeah.
It's been about a year,
Okay.
and he's responsible for a lot of social media. He's responsible
That's
for
great.
all the back-end forms that have to get to KW, so we get paid.
That's great.
Getting forms
Did you
signed
do
by
that
people.
for him, or did he do?
We interviewed him, yeah.
But did you
set
help
him
get that
up.
set up?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you.
Yeah,
man.
it's been a great experience. It's
Good,
been
good.
It's amazing, having somebody else that's not here, and
Damon
look, he
goes
can write
virtual
agreements.
assistant. This
He
is
can
going
write
in the
agreements.
news.
He can do
Yeah. Wow.
write leases, and and then we change after, but he gets it started.
Wow. Does Alyssa know that? That's great, man.
She does that. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So you're, do you do mailings? Do you do just sold, just listed? Do you do?
Still do just sold, still do just listed. We do mailings just in general. In the city, for example, we have a quarterly newsletter that goes out to all the co-ops, because we do so much with co-ops.
So the co-op building's in there, so
Yeah.
it goes out to the,
It goes out to William Penn House, Canning House, 2101 Co-op. It goes out to Penn Center, and goes out to classes.
Just your newsletter?
Just my newsletter.
That's very
Newsletter just for the co-ops, because
Gotcha.
I do so much with the co-ops and our office.
Who creates that for you?
Kevin.
Okay.
And then we have we do a lot of other mailings, just sold, just listed.
Right. And the open houses, still doing those?
Still doing open
You're
houses.
sharing some of those with the office?
Yep, I mean, we have, I believe in open houses, I believe in agents sitting open houses, I believe in, getting business from the open houses. That's why I still do it. I mean, it's,
God bless.
it's great. You gotta continue, no matter how old you are, to keep your face out there. I mean, I remember I used to tell people that my business came from going to bars and restaurants and clubs. And, it was all, your sphere of influence of where your business is coming from. And, now my business is probably coming from, well, besides all referrals, is coming from, kids' birthday parties, because everybody wants to talk real estate. It's just your life changes a little, so you have to
You
change
go
with
with your
it.
kids' birthday, your
Correct.
kids, yeah. I agree, yeah, great source.
Yeah.
What about, do you do 33 touch, or have you gotten to that yet, or no? No?
No.
Okay. You gotta get them to a 33 touch, it's so impactful, and we, just reaching out to your clients 33 times a year, in different ways. Do you do a client appreciation party?
We have not.
Okay, you need to do that too.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Dude, off the charts impactful.
Yeah.
So I never did it till I came to KW. I just had 600 people at mine and had sponsors help. So I didn't pay for that whole thing myself.
Right.
And dude, the business blows up. It is unbelievable. It legitimize, because it's all there, people that love you, right?
Right.
And love your team.
Right.
And then they bring friends. It is just impactful. And
That's the good thing about KW is, the collaboration, that we all work together to, give ideas and
yeah.
we want everybody to do well.
Yeah, you have to, again, I never did one, and it's just going up since I've come to KW. And then we will also do like smaller ones, like some of my team members might do just a happy housewarming event for somebody. Just getting people together is the key thing. Or at the a beer garden, hey, I'm having drinks today for first 2 drinks are free on me, and for 2 hours inviting their friends. We're just finding, because of this COVID world, getting together with people is so much more impactful than just all the social media newsletters.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the best thing that works for you? Besides your referrals, because that's where your business is.
I mean, it's always referrals, but I think at this point it's a combination of everything.
Okay.
It's more of a name recognition combination of everything.
And it's being out in the grind every day, right?
Correct. I mean,
Yeah.
look, every
I
day
mean,
to me is a
you
work
don't have to
day.
do anything, right? You just sit back and money just comes in.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you play hard, work hard, you got, big, do a lot of deals, big expenses that come with it, so,
Right.
it's all, the more you make, the more you spend to get the business continuing on to what it does.
Let's ask questions. Any questions for Damon Michels?
Are you active on social media?
I am active on social media, or my team is active on social media. It might not all be me, that's the one, but I have multiple assistants that are, posting sales, posting things, and then, saying happy birthday to people and liking things. But, me personally, I mean, I'm more on Facebook than anything else.
We're old school.
Yeah, we're Facebook.
It's still the #1 lead generator for social media, more than Instagram.
Yeah.
So all the people that are 20 to 40 are all on Instagram more than Facebook's old school. But it's funny, but it's still nationally it generates more leads than even Instagram.
Interesting.
But you should be on both. Yeah, I see your stuff all the time. Other questions for Dave? Yes.
Next level, Damon, where do you see yourself 5 to
Ooh.
10 years from now? What's your next level?
Look, I want to continue to grow the business and grow the team, and I just actually, believe it or not, I just got my New Jersey brokerage license. So I want to expand into New Jersey, expand to the shore, expand to build a team for Jersey. because, hey, you know, it's always worked for me having two areas, city and suburbs, and, you know, Jersey Shore, same people that, you know, I know down there and they know me.
Cool.
Before you mentioned a lot of your business early on was coming from bars, restaurants, and clubs and things. What did that look like early on for you, for Collegiate?
Well, I mean, I'm a social person and like to go out, and, you know, to me, you know, you go out, and you meet people, and you talk real estate, and everybody wants to talk real estate. So it's all about being seen and being out somewhere. I remember, you know, we were in some island somewhere, and I mean, I'm in a restaurant and 3 people knew me. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing. But you have to remember, my face is sort of everywhere, and I can't, you know, you never know who you're looking at.
But do you still go to bars and restaurants?
Of course, we're still out there, still socializing, going out with people, going out with clients, you know, going out with multiple people, because your friends and your clients tell other people about you and their friends, and that multiplies.
Sinead, Jamie Quinn from here, she goes and sets up in a bar, her laptop, and gets more business from sitting in a bar. That's so funny.
It's all about
She goes
being
to the
seen and
neighborhood
being
bars,
out there.
like in Fishtown, Kensington, Port Richmond, you know, like she goes into, or Center City, she goes into the neighborhood bars.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe in it. You know, I remember before I had my office in Center City, I used to write agreements in bars. I used to go to restaurants, meet people. You know, sit at a bar. You meet people. You meet more. You know, better than sitting at a table.
Right.
How do you recruit your team members, and then how do you help develop them?
So our team, you know, we probably have about a dozen people on it. You know, many of them have been with me for many years, and I feel, besides my assistants, who I feel I've built a great team together. You know, you can't do everything alone, and you always need to have assistants backing you that, because you can't be everywhere and you can't do everything, and that's how you can multiply the business. I remember when I went on my own right at the beginning, you know, I made sure I got a part-time assistant, because, you know, you need help. You can't do everything yourself. As for my teammates, I mean, we're always looking for great teammates. We're always looking for people who, you know, but you have to remember, we want the right people who are representing us. We want to make sure they're qualified, that they are, you know, going to do well for, you know, the team. But, you know, also for what we do for them is, you know, we do our typical advertising campaign for any listing they have. You know, it's our photographer, our video, our you know, advertising, because they're representing me. The listings are representing me. As for, you know, listings, I mean, we'll go to every listing appointment with them. I'll go with them if I can, and they want me to come. Whatever we got to do to help them get the listing or get the lead, I'll meet with buyers with them. I'm a hands-on person, so, you know, I want to, you know, do as much as possible. And obviously, you know, we have a lot of listings, so the availability to sit open houses, we give them first choice.
Well, your reputation is everything, right?
Yeah.
You can't buy a great reputation. And if you hire people that don't apply to your standards, don't have the ethic, the communication, all the things that you bring, why people love you, that's the, you know.
Correct. Plus, we're giving back and support to them
Exactly.
too,
Yes.
and mentoring them. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're always looking for, you know, good teammates that'll.
There you go. Damon's looking for a teammate. Got a young man right here, right? Didn't he
Yeah.
just join?
No, we just joined.
I
Dan.
told him he's showing up here. I'm like, that's great, man, because it's hard getting Damon here because he's so busy. But it's so nice to actually, you know, bring some of this stuff home to Damon. But he's showing up. So you can always tell when someone's going to be successful when they're hungry and they show up and they want to grow and learn and change, right? Is this business easy?
Nothing's easy.
Yeah.
No business is easy. I mean, this business, yes, it's nice that you get to set your own hours. I guess that means I can do what I want to do when I want to do it, but the end result is that also means you're working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You know, your day doesn't end at 5 o'clock, but it's nice to be able, if I need to go to something for the kids' school or something, I can do that. You know, it's also, a great business because you get chunks of money at certain times. But then again, you know, you're only as good as your next sale. So you got to keep going and keep doing what you normally do to keep your face out there and meet people and figure out how you're getting your next sale, because you never know. You know, you list a house today, you could get the buyer for that house, 3 people could come into that open house, all of a sudden, you know, the domino effect, and you have, from that one house, you have five sales.
Would you change anything?
Would I change anything? I mean, look, I'm a happy person. I'm happy with my move to KW. It's been great being partners. And
Paid him to say that again.
you know, I feel that every day is a new learning experience, and you know, we learn from. I tell people that you never know what the next step is.
Yeah.
So one thing leads to another, and that's what you got to remember.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, to me, yes, being self-employed, you're working all the time, but I never missed any of my kids' school events, or can function, can vacation when I want to vacation. No one's going to lay me off.
Yeah. I remember the one doctor's appointment I ever missed. I went when my wife was pregnant. We went.
Whoa.
Was the doctor's appointment where she found out we were having twins. I was in a settlement, but you know, but you're able to do these things.
But do you think if you weren't in real estate, your life would ever be what it is today?
No, it's been a great experience.
You'd never change anything in the whole world, right?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, I've loved it, and I've learned a lot from everybody, and you know, I love what I do now. Like I said, you know, I was an accountant basically before, and I love numbers and I love all that, but you know, I was more of a people person, and you know, much happier now.
And you can dress however you want, right?
Correct.
I was breaking his chops. So he's very casual, he's very authentic, which we always have to be, right? We have to be our authentic self. Okay, other questions for Dame?
When you were first building your team, who was the first hire and what drove that decision?
I mean, the first hire was, I had a part-time assistant that I hired so remember, I was on a team and then I went on my own. And so I hired an assistant, and then, you know, people came to me because of people I had done deals with, or, you know, Joan Federico, who's on my team, she's been with me for many, many years, and she came to me because she used to do a different type of business, but it was getting people, you know, introduction to the country and everything as they came in. And one of the things, so she was using me as the realtor. So, you know, you never know where someone's coming from and how they end up doing it.
Her previous job.
Her previous job.
Gotcha, okay.
Using me as the realtor. So that's, you know, how, and then I said, why don't you become a realtor? Why don't you join the team? I mean, if you're referring to me, you might as well make money. But, you know, and then I ended up with a full-time assistant after that, and, you know, now I have multiple assistants that, you know, I really feel that I built a good team that it gives me good back-end support, and you know, enables me to do multiple different things. I mean, you can't do this amount of business and handhold everybody unless you have people that you can trust.
There.
Looking back 20 years, Damon, would you have done anything differently? And what keeps you up, if anything at all, at night? Or any concerns you might have?
Would I have done anything differently? I mean, look, I think I would have started real estate earlier.
Got it.
I mean, I think about, you know, everything I did before that, and yes, I learned from my previous experience of what I did, and I used that for real estate for a lot of things, but the end result is, you know, I think I would have started real estate sooner when I was younger, because that would have put me further ahead from where I am now.
That's a great point. Other questions?
When you first started like investing in your business, what was like the first big investment that you made? Is that like the billboards and stuff?
I mean, first an assistant,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I would say probably the billboards I did, and shopping carts I had done. That's the most time I spend in the supermarket right now. But look, it's a different world now, and yes, I still do a lot of what I did back
You
then.
don't go shopping, everything's delivered.
Correct. So, you know, maybe there's a way to, you know, have your stuff on the bags that get delivered. I don't know.
We just bought bags for leaf pickup in Canteen.
Oh, really?
And we gave them out to people that.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
that's a good one.
It's a suburban thing, right? It's something
Yeah.
new to that stuff, but yeah.
Welcome to the suburb. But no, it's been, you know.
What else? So what else would you say, Dave? So did you do postcards?
I mean, we
Did you
do
all that?
postcards, we do weekly, look, now we do weekly emails to, you know, customers, agents, people who've come in. You know, we have giveaways we do, with, you know, we've got, you know, Damon Michels personalized everything, you know.
Do you give a client a gift to a client after closing?
At closing, we do. We give them a bottle of champagne that has my face on it. That says congratulations. Actually, people.
That's scary, man.
People like that. I used to give out bottles of whoop, and then a company called me one day from California, and they're like, "Do you want a private label wine?" And I said, "No," and I was like, "And was that you make champagne?" And ever since then, you know, we
Cool.
private labeled the champagne, and it, you know, under emergency situations, I've tried it. It's pretty good. But
In the closing, right?
we've tried it in closings. And no, we give them ice buckets with it a lot of times, and glasses, and you know.
So when you first left your accounting and you're doing real estate, so you're out there, what were you doing? Open houses? Like how?
Always from the beginning did open houses. You know,
Did anyone ever hear me say that before?
No.
I mean, back then, you know, sitting floor time, I never did great on floor. I
Yeah, I
think.
never did it.
I mean, to me, open houses was good for me, and just being out there and talking to people and, you know, having my face shown. I think that, you know, look, one of the reasons I had originally opened my office, you know, back 8 years ago or whatever it was because we were losing all the leads on floor time, and we wanted, you know,
People
to have.
calling the office. So in Keller, if someone calls, it's you're listing your lead. If someone calls on a specific property, that goes to that listing agent, right? Now phone's nothing like it used to be, but
But back then,
back at Berkshire, you would sit at the desk, and when those calls came in, all these new people were taking your calls.
right, so people would come back to my office and they would say, "Oh, thank you, I just got a lead on your $800,000 house." Now remember, I was out of the Wayne office and they were getting a lead in Center City, so you know, or I'd see all these people showing it from the Wayne office in Center City. How are they getting those leads?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you were feeding that office. It's funny, Daryl's question, he says, what would you have done different 20 years ago? I wish there was a Keller 38 years ago when I started, because it's just so much more innovative than the old school way. You know, it's your listing, your lead,
Yeah.
you can build your business within the business, you know what I mean? It's much more
I tell people
entrepreneurial.
that, you know, I have my own business inside of Keller Williams. I have my own, you know, I got my own assistants, my own office, my own everything.
Right. Make your own decisions, you know, you're the only one that can fire yourself or not make money or not make money. You're in control, but you have the support and the operations. You already asked the question. No.
How are you handling the NAR settlement, especially being a listing agent? And are you doing both sides?
So since the Norris settlement, we were all so worried about what was going to happen. You know, it's always the unknown that you don't know. But the end result is every one of my listings is still paying the buyer's agent commission. I basically, when I go into an appointment, I, you know, give my spiel and my PR and whatever, and then I say, I bring it up. I said, you may have heard there was a NAR settlement in August, and you no longer have to pay the buyer's agent commission, but someone's got to pay it. And I'll do whatever you want, but I recommend you pay it, because everyone still seems to be paying it, and you want them to sell your house.
Wow, that's-
So I've given people the option, but I tell them that that's my suggestion. I don't know how it's been working with you.
Absolutely the same thing. I say, you know, yeah, average real estate agent hasn't been in the business more than 5 years. The average income nationally is about $48,000. If you're not going to pay anybody to sell your house, the buyer doesn't have the money to pay them because they're short on money. You need to pay them. Actually, my successful builders, they don't only pay the minimum, they actually offer bonuses because they are in the business. So I go off on that tangent, that like, it's not how much you pay, it's what you get. And many of my successful builders offer extra. And so just makes them think. So I've had no problem.
Yeah, and even on the buyer side, you know, you get people to sign the exclusive buyer agency contract, and of course, we were supposed to be doing that the whole time,
remember when the consumer notice came out, that was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever that was, it had to be signed. Well, no one was doing that, right? Then this comes out, the agency contract has to be signed in the consumer notice. Ironically, the DOJ, Department of Justice, big articles just came out 2 days ago, that they have to approve the settlement, and they have big problems with the settlement. And they say that it's going to, and this is coming out, this is hot off the press, so this is not factual information, this is, if you read about it, they have problems with, they feel that making a buyer sign something before they see a house will adversely affect the buyer. Duh, of course, right? And they have a problem with it. And they're saying early on, yeah, you can do that, but that's not going to protect you from us not coming back at you later. And what they're saying is, you know what? That might adversely affect buyers, and we might come back and sue you for that later on. So there's a whole big shakeup right now. We had the settlement agreed with NAR and the attorneys, but the Department of Justice has not approved it. It's supposed to be approved November 26th, and they came out with this information. So ironically, it's going to, this NAR settlement, we stressed, we worried, it was going to be the end of real estate, we were going to lose 400,000 real estate agents. Do you remember that? Well, I do. And, and now it's settled in. Commissions are pretty much still about the same. Yep. There are options, and I believe in options. I believe in free market. But where do you see what happens over the next couple months? Be really curious.
But people say to me when I open my offices or when I moved here to KW, they said, why didn't you just open Damon Realty? And my answer to that was, look at now with the NAR settlement, thank God I didn't open it, because, you know, who knows what, someone would have been suing me, and at least you have KW backing you, or a company, national brand backing you for whatever they have to deal with for what, you know, we're going through now.
Yeah. I think Gary wrote a check for $70 million or some crazy number like that. Could you imagine that? And it's not even going to be resolved. It's crazy. But right,
maybe actually, if I do something differently from before, I would have come back as Gary.
It's funny. Guy's so authentic, and he works like us.
Yeah. His
mindset is no different than us. They just had him on video wishing me a happy birthday. So my wife tells me I have a man crush with Gary Keller because I respect the guy so much. I fought him for 10 years when I didn't know him. I just didn't like how they were growing in Prudential, Berkshire was going down, and I freaking fought him for 10 years. And then when I finally met him, I'm like, this guy reminds me of me. He's just giving back. He doesn't need to do this stuff. He's just giving back. He's an awesome human being. You going to the family reunion?
Don't have that answer yet.
Got to get that on the list. Okay. I got Darryl to go. Gary, you going? Did you book it?
I have to say yes.
Okay.
I didn't book it.
Anybody go to the family reunion? I'm telling you, it's where you just look at the Keller world and the real estate industry from a high level view and just meet so many people. It's really awesome. Okay.
I mean, but also going to those things, like we go to Triple Play, we go, it's just building that relationship with the other agents. No matter what scene you're in, helps you for the future for getting deals.
Yeah. Okay, I think smell food out there. It's close. We're still a couple more minutes. So what nugget would you give? Again, it's been a tough couple years, right? Tough 2 years. I mean, more, average. They say, I was reading a report on Friday, or Thursday or Friday. It's the worst downturn in 30 years. We're ending up with 3.8 million sales. Remember, in 21 to 22, it was like 7.2, 7.5 million. 23, it dropped to 4.1. We thought 24 was going to be 4.3, so it was going to go up a little. It ends up going down to 3.8. So, so it's been a tough year. So what would you? So it's tough, and I've been telling people now. I believe the spring and summer's going to be very good.
I do too. I think the spring's gonna be, I think we'll have a very busy spring. I think, look, rates are what they are, whatever they're gonna be. However you look at it, 6% is not a bad rate. I mean, you look at the past 30 years, I mean, we should be jumping up and down at 6%. Okay, yes, I have a 2.5% mortgage, but that's not reality. That'll never happen again. But it's all about, keeping, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I think, look, I have to thank my wife for, putting up with me, thank my friends for putting up with me, because all I do is sit on the beach and talk on the phone the entire time. Everyone wants to kill me. We go away on vacation. I sit on the phone. I have to thank my assistants for putting up with me because I couldn't do it without them. That's my back end support.
Right.
But it's all about, working together to, look, you have to cut expenses right now when it gets difficult out there and you're not doing as many deals. You can't afford, as much as you were doing before.
My business is down 30% and I spend an additional 30%, right? So it's way
You
down.
can't cut your advertising.
No,
People,
no.
I remember, COVID where, everyone's cutting everything and I'm adding advertising at that point because, whatever you do now is going to affect the future.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, if you hung in there now, this is like, say, it's been a tough year, I'm gonna bail. It's like swimming across the Delaware River and getting about 80% there and turning back.
Yeah.
Because I believe with the pent-up demand, with rates, just the pent-up demand, the sheer pent-up demand, the market's gonna pick up next year. It's not gonna ever be 21 or 22. We won't
Correct.
see that for another decade, a decade and a half. We
But
will
that's
see
how
that
the
again.
real estate market does.
Exactly.
It goes up and
Exactly.
down and, it depends on what the stock market's doing and everything else and how much money everybody has. But the end result is people still need to move to the main line. They still need schools. People are still getting married. People are still getting divorced. People are still, there's estates. But no, seriously, I mean, our goal is to handhold people and help people and people know we do. So,
Right.
if anything, one thing leads to another and your job is not just being a realtor. Your job may be, bringing in other people to help you, like Patrick. We brought in Patrick all the time to, for trash. And we move
He's
on.
freaking awesome.
He's been
I
great.
text him, boom, he's out there.
Responds right away. I mean,
Unbelievable.
having, people to refer people to, having, contractors, contractor list here and having all those things at your fingertips are really an important thing someone just asked me the other day, I'm gonna list this house. He said, I need to get rid of some art. Okay, I got an art dealer. Okay, I need to do this. I need a floor refinisher. I need, your job is not just a real estate agent. Your job, and
Amen.
and the biggest part of your job is being a psychiatrist.
Exactly.
So, I need to, go to one, but at least, that becomes your biggest part of the job. I mean, it's just holding everybody handled.
So what I'm hearing a lot is patience, tenacity, consistently communicating, have compassion, because most of your people, I'd say 99.9, love you, even if they are whacks, right? You're right, because you're patient, right?
Yes.
You're empathetic.
We are.
And then you have solutions. That's why I always said be the air traffic controller. I got a guy. And when you or somebody from your team calls, they jump on it because Damon Michels calling, right?
Yes.
And they give good
No, I mean,
service to the client.
I call people and they're gonna answer for me.
Yes.
If I don't tell the customer to call, because if the customer calls, they're not gonna answer for them.
Exactly.
If I'm calling, they're gonna answer for me because I'm the one that's feeding them.
Exactly. Yes. So it's all about reputation, but it's not easy, but we wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
And yes, you go through tough times, right? But
Hey, I'm not saying everything's been great. I mean, look, it's hard work being a realtor. It's a lot of work. It costs a lot of money.
I'm
It's a
saying
lot of stress.
We're
but-
not digging ditches, though.
No.
You know what I mean? We're not, I worked in the sewers when I was in high school. We're not digging ditches. We're hanging out, we're talking to people. You gotta love people, right?
Yeah, gotta love people, gotta be outgoing, gotta be there.
Yeah, and you still gotta do open houses.
Still do open houses.
That's what I tell people. Man, I wish I had the selection of open houses. I never had that my first 10 years. I didn't have open houses to sit. Nobody gave me open house. I would just make you who you are, consistency. But most people give up early. So give them some golden, any other questions? Because I am going to wrap this
I
up.
have one quick question.
Sure. Yes.
What do you think when you first started out about Because I keep getting these calls, I think we talked about this, from Zillow, Realtor.com, Reminder Media. Do you think it's worth investing in those products as a new agent? Like to
I don't
get
know
leads?
what Mike's answer will be, but my answer at the moment.
Mike's answer was no right now.
Okay, so
because-
my answer is, I've spent $1 million on Zillow in the past, and I wish I had that $1 million back.
Whoa.
That was that's not the way to spend your money.
Okay, that's good to know. Just-
I've definitely learned from that.
Totally agree.
I mean, yes, back at the day when Zillow first started, I made a lot of money from it. But then I held in there for probably another extra 5 years I shouldn't have held in there for. And I have stopped spending it on Zillow.
Now, Realtor.com is a little bit better, right? Or no, that's kind of the.
I mean, look, you're always going to get a lead here or there from, and then you think, oh, should I be doing more on it? But the end result is, I remember, there's these other companies out there, but what do? They take 30% from you and then they advertise you out there so that people start calling them instead of calling you when they're looking online. So, I mean, it's really getting your name
You
out
have to
to
have a
people.
presence. It is good to have a presence you have to have a presence
Yes.
on Zillow. You have to have a presence. So you get your referrals,
You want to be a top producer on Zillow, so you need to pay something.
And one of the key things that is free is sending Google reviews for your clients. I can't tell you, again, but the internet and SEO is always changing. So when something's doing great for a certain time and this is it, then they change it up and it doesn't. But Google reviews have gotten us so much business from having tons of testimonials. And are you going after each one closing?
We are.
It's funny. I went to my skin doctor. That's why I look like this. But went to my skin doctor. I got a question that came back, text, and said, "Was your service good?" Hit 1. Was it bad? Hit 2. So I hit 1, and then it said, "Hey, would you fill out a review?" But I thought that was amazing. If I had hit 2, they probably wouldn't have asked me to fill out a review. I was telling my wife that. I said, "Should we do that?" She said, "Mike, it's tacky."
I go into listing presentations and I give them my book with it has all my testimonials and everything. I tell them I left the bad ones out. No,
Wait, so you still show up with a listing booklet, right?
I do.
So do I. When I go with young people, they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, my listing booklet, my contract, my marketing plan."
Hey, I've tried to go to listing appointments with my iPad and do a whole iPad presentation, and then I don't have signal, and then you can't pull something up. I can't go back to figure it out. I'm still old school. I like to do what I do.
But it's all about people, reputation, and delivery, right?
Yeah.
Trusting you, being honest, being out there every single day. But yeah, reviews are a great thing to do on Zillow and on Google and on.
Right, because they're real reviews. They're customers that are, that's where people are looking today to make sure, who they should use.
Yeah. But what we say, and still did. So you're doing mailings out to your clients, but the 30. When you could do an open house, you're getting those names and numbers, you have a signing code, or you get their names, and then the next week, when you do open houses, you're sending it to them, and you're just growing that list. And each week, you're supposed to get 5 to 10 people in your database. And they say once you hit 200, it's very impactful. When you have 300 or 400 people in your database, you will get a tremendous amount of business if you touch them 33 times. That could be via text, via party.
And we might be doing that. I just don't know
I know.
the.
They're still trying to go through my 30,000 in my phone to get organized. Okay, Damon is the nicest guy. Will help you out with anything, and he will give us open houses to sit when he needs it for his team. And any other tip, any other takeaways you want to give to everybody here?
Everyone be thankful for,
Amen.
doing a great business and everything we get and what we do. And, remember your customer is always your customer. And, you have to be good to them too.
Yeah, awesome.
So thank you.